Hello, BookTube. Well, as you can see, I'm coming to you on different technology. I believe the kids say it looks like it was filmed on a potato. That is because earlier today, my iPhone 7S bricked. Just completely went dark, completely went solid, like it was one fused piece of plastic. The buttons don't depress. There's no power. When 15 minutes before this happened, there was power, plenty of power. It was actually plugged in when it happened. And I was checking things on the phone while I was reading uh, and doing the morning's emails. And then suddenly, it just bricked dead. And I thought maybe it might have to do with the power cord, with the slot where I was plugged in. So I unplugged it to plug it in somewhere else, and the plug broke. I don't know if you can make that out, but one of the teeth of the plug remained in the socket and cannot be removed, short of electrocuting myself. So it's been that kind of a morning. I am currently charging my old iPhone in the hopes that it will sustain a charge and that it's a working machine. If I remember correctly, I only swapped it out for this thing because this thing had more memory and was a nice big screen. If I remember correctly, there wasn't anything wrong with my old iPhone, which I think is a 6S. If I remember that correctly, then this should work. Then it should charge to full power and be a perfectly fine phone. In which case, if that happens, I will swap out my SIM card and just use that phone. Because the phone dealerships where I would go and stand in line in order to talk to somebody are largely not open in Boston. Or if they are, they're largely dangerous places to go. I can check around and see, but I mean, it's tempting to want to repair this thing. I've got a lot of good use out of it, but it might be easier to just buy another one. It's just maddening. It's just absolutely maddening that it was working just fine until minutes before, and then suddenly this happened for no reason, and this happened where one of the teeth of the plug is now popped off. Now, fortunately, I have a bunch of these brick converters or whatever they are, so that I can still charge things. But so in the meantime, until I know whether any of this stuff works, I thought I would revert to filming on my laptop using Photo Booth, which I did for years. So that ought to work. I did this for years. I much prefer having a phone. You know, even though I don't make or receive many phone calls, I really like the pocket device. We'll see. The old phone might work, although naturally now my worry when I use it is going to be, is it going to summarily die as well? But in the meantime, just to make sure that I've got the hang of this and to see that there are no bugs in the system, I thought I would do a test video here on the MacBook. So I'm going to do a bit of mail. I got a big mail package here. We'll see what this is. I hate to waste the video. So we'll see what this is, we'll see how it goes, and we'll see how much of this comes back to me, because I made thousands of videos in exactly this way, using the laptop, and just not worrying about it. So, oh, this is a bunch of books. Oh, great, alright, so it's only one package, but it's a bunch of books. Great, what have we got here? Okay, it looks like okay, so there's, I guess there's an imprint of Farrar, Straus and Giroux. These are paperback originals, and it's FSGO. That's Farrar, Straus and Giroux originals times Logic, X Logic. That is the logo there. I guess these are the books, some books in that series. The first one is Subprime Attention Crisis by Tim Hwang. Advertising and the Time Bomb at the Heart of the Internet. I can see already that I'm going to have to calm down a little with the imagery. The phone is better for that than the laptop. But let's see what this is. Oh my, look at the cover. Sale, sale, sell. Stream to your heart out. Check this out. Check out this app. Try it now. Download more clicks for your business. The cover is covered in the type of things we see all the time, every day online. Oh my. Okay, so do I have a description of this? In Subprime Attention Crisis, Tim Hwang investigates the big the way big tech financializes attention. In the process, he shows us how digital advertising, the beating heart of the internet, is at risk of collapsing, and that its potential demise bears an uncanny resemblance to the housing crisis of 2008. Oh, that is fascinating. From the unreliability of advertising numbers and the unregulated automation of advertising bidding wars, to the simple fact that online ads mostly fail to work, Huang demonstrates that while consumers' attention has never been more prized, the true value of that attention itself, much like subprime mortgages, is wildly misrepresented. I'm on board already. I wonder when this thing comes out. Does it tell me? October. This comes out in mid-October. If online advertising goes belly up, the internet and its free services will suddenly be accessible only to those who can afford it. And we know that's coming, right? We know that's coming. But that is fascinating. Okay, we're off to a roaring start. Next one is it's edited by Ben Tarnoff and Moira Weigel, and it's called Voices from the Valley. Tech workers talk about what they do and how they do it. It's another book in this series that I'm shoving at the camera like that, even though you can't see it. In Voices from the Valley, the celebrated writers and Logic co-founders Moira Weigel and Ben Tarnoff take an unprecedented dive into the tech industry, conducting unfiltered, in-depth, anonymous interviews with tech workers at all levels, including a data scientist, a startup founder, a cook who serves their lunch, and a PR wizard. Okay, all right, fantastic. And then the next one, What Tech Calls Thinking, by Adrian Daub. What Tech Calls Thinking. It just occurred to me that a mail haul is probably the worst possible thing to do in a test video because you can't redo a mail haul. I could be adding to my frustration. What if this doesn't upload? What if something has gone wrong and I can't upload this? I guess we'll find out, won't we? Let's see here. What Tech Calls Thinking, an inquiry into the intellectual bedrock of Silicon Valley. This is a lively dismantling of the ideas that form the intellectual bedrock of Silicon Valley. Equally important to Silicon Valley's world-altering innovation are the languages and ideas it uses to explain and justify itself. And often those fancy new ideas are simply old motifs playing dress-up in a hoodie. I like this new series. From the myth of dropping out to the war of disruption, Daub locates the Valley's supposedly original radical thinking in the ideas of Heidegger and Ayn Rand, the New Age Esalen Foundation in Big Sur, and American traditions from the tent revivals to the predestination. Okay, all right. Are these all October? Yes, these are all October. And then the last one, Blockchain Chicken Farm and Other Stories of Tech in China's Countryside, by Xiaowei Wang. Blockchain Chicken Farm. I'm going to learn a lot from these books. I know that I am. In this book, the technologist and writer Xiaowei Wang explores the political and social entanglements of technology in rural China. I've been to rural China many times. Most of the time that I've spent in China, I've spent deep in the countryside, far away from politics and mind control. Their discoveries force them to challenge the standard idea that rural culture and people are backward, conservative, and intolerant. Now, those ideas aren't true. Those ideas aren't true at all. Instead, they find that rural China has not only adapted to rapid globalization, but has actually innovated the technology we all use today. From pork farmers using AI to produce the perfect pig, to disruptive luxury counterfeits and the political intersection of e-commerce villages, the author unravels the ties between globalization, technology, agriculture, and commerce in unprecedented fashion. Okay, all right. Well, all right. So there we go. That is this is a test video, but these are 4 absolutely fascinating sounding books on technology that are coming out from FSG in original paperbacks as part of their Logic series in October. And I do have paperwork on this. Yeah, okay, this is probably the economical way to do it. This is 2 pages of information about all 4 of these books and about the series. What comes to mind when you hear the word tech? Maybe you think of the platform, apps, devices that have so fully reshaped our lives over the past 30 years. There is also the business of tech, the now giant corporations, the vast sums of venture capital, the startups, the larger-than-life founders and CEOs. If you work in tech, perhaps you think of your colleagues the hundreds of thousands of people who make up the workforce and culture of Silicon Valley. Or if you've been following the news in recent years, maybe the first thing that pops to mind is controversy. FSG is very excited to announce 4 books, all to be published on October 13th, 2020, in partnership with Logic Magazine, which is edited by Ben Tarnoff and Myra Weigel, who wrote one of these books. And then it describes each of the books. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be able to wait on a lot of these. These 4 strike me as fascinating, especially, I have to say, subprime attention crisis. Because I've been thinking about that a lot. That the internet... I heard a noise. Hi, baby. Come here. Come here, baby. You going to join us? She's been sound asleep on her little bed. Oh. Have you been filmed on this MacBook? I don't know if I ever have filmed you on this MacBook. I think I stopped filming on this machine before you came to me. Oh, you look just as good no matter what you filmed on. You do. You look just as good. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been thinking about this subject for a long time. A fundamental change in the internet as we know it. I've been thinking about that for a long time because it can't go on the way it is. But all of these sound great. Okay, fantastic. I'm not so much interested in stories about people in Silicon Valley. They're all insufferable, and there aren't any good stories along those lines. So I will read it. I will read all of these because it sounds like a fascinating launch here. But some of them appeal to me more than others. Rural China and subprime attention crisis are fascinating. So there you go. The laptop tells me this is about 12 minutes long. I admit I'm hazy on the parameters. I don't remember the fine points of the parameters of doing it this way. Whether or not there's any limit to how long the videos can be. Even the process that goes from here. I believe what I do is save the video to the desktop and then just upload it to YouTube, same as always. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure that I remember that correctly. So if this ever gets to you, it will be the first video to get to you, and I advise you to prepare for bumpy uploads today. Prepare for bumpy uploads while I deal with a technological crisis. This thing is dead. The online advice that I got when I looked it up, of course, the first thing you do is Google what the problem is. The online advice said to charge the apparently dead phone for a solid hour without expecting anything. Just charge it for a solid hour. I don't think that's the problem here because it was actually charged in. It was actually plugged in and charging when this happened. So I don't think the power flow is the problem. I think the phone just died for some reason. Very annoying. I'm hoping, I will investigate, but I'm hoping that the little shop where I tend to get phone problems addressed is open, at least partially, or maybe that they'll make an appointment or something, because I'd like this fixed rather than replaced. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up and then try to get it to you, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if that's possible. So I hope, see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.